What's good, Josh? Your boy J12. I am the host of J12 TV. Now, right after I watched Karate Kid Legends today, I purchased a second ticket. Yes, you heard me right. I doubled up on the movie experience for the day and went to check out Bring Her Back. And I walked out that theater and I was pretty impressed, not gonna lie. It really wasn't the scariest movie in my opinion, which is unfortunate because I was expecting scares. I did hear people say this is like the scariest movie of the year, but I just gotta learn to not go in with those expectations. Niggas just be saying anything for real. But what I will give this movie its credit is in its story. They do a great job in layering some of these characters, giving others handicaps where they're literally not able to see what the hell's going on in the movie, using those handicaps to manipulate and change the real narrative that's going on, all to benefit the counselor in this movie, the woman that takes the two main characters in, clearly doing it for the wrong reasons, as we find out later on in the movie. Oh, and we got Ali, the kid on this cover, who's definitely not associated with anything nefarious at all in this movie. And man, no long talk for this one. I'm actually trying to get this one out the way soon so that I can start working on getting y'all this DreamCon vlog. So we're gonna get right into the review. If you like anything I gotta say at all in this video, y'all know what y'all gotta do already. Like, comment, share, subscribe, do all those things, and let's talk about Bring Her Back real quick. The movie starts off with this weird ritualistic scene. We see people getting lifted by their neck. We got this lady in a circle, and then this naked man comes up from behind her. Somebody's recording all of this devious activity. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Then we get into the present day of the movie. We see our main character, Piper, trying to make some new friends before going to school. We see that shit was very unsuccessful, partly on her part though, because her brother walks up on her trying to make sure she's good and she calls him a pedo in response. Why did you think that was going to be a winning strategy to make friends? They not going to want to hang out with you if the man you claim is a PDF file is lingering around. We found out the two are siblings and we immediately see that the brother is willing to go to great lengths to ensure that his sister is protected, as any big brother should. We cut to them back at their house and they discover that something happened to their father in the bathroom, so the brother picks the lock to the bathroom door. They get in and they see that the father fell over. I'm talking about my son looked like he was convulsing. The bathroom was full of steam and it left big bro traumatized. Now, I don't know if his death was linked to anything crazy going on in the movie or if it just happened by natural causes. It didn't look like no natural death, I'll tell you that. There's never really a callback to it in the movie. We only learn more about the brother's relationship with the father later on, how he used to beat him back in the day behind closed doors so Piper wouldn't hear that happening. Similarly to how the mom would do Ali in this movie, turning up the volume when she was doing anything nefarious with this young boy. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. So the father dies and these two kids end up in foster care. They get picked up by this counselor named Laura. Look at this lady, she's so nice. They really got it made now. They couldn't have got picked up by a better caretaker. I said that with all the sarcasm in my chest if y'all couldn't peep, by the way. This lady is a crash out. She has reason for being a crash out though. See, we learned early on in the movie that her daughter passed away some time ago by way of drowning. What she's trying to do is call back to that weird ass ritual that we seen at the beginning of the movie. Follow all of it step by step in order to bring her daughter back. But to do so, she gotta sacrifice one of them kids and have them die the same way that her daughter died. And then when that happens, another party, I guess Ali in this case, after eating the deceased body, then puts the soul of that body into the body of the person that died the same way the other person did. Something like that. I don't know. Somebody in the comments will probably understand that ritual better than I did. But to keep it short and sweet, Piper gotta die in order for her daughter to come back. And the movie does a great job of not only laying out the seeds for this lady's plan to actually come to fruition, also at showing how disheveled she comes as the movie progresses. Like, look at this woman, bro. She's tired as hell. All she's trying to do is get her daughter back. And it's effed up the way she's trying to do it. I mean, even preserving her daughter's body in that freezer the way she did was insane work. I think it's more so the fact that she knows this ritual exists that she's willing to try this. Throughout the movie, though, I didn't get a hint of her necessarily being evil, though. She doesn't want to do the things she's doing, but she understands that it's the only way that she could bring her daughter back. And seeing the process work firsthand with those tapes that she got some way, somehow, I'm assuming she might have been the one who was recording from back in the day. She knows the shit work firsthand, so she's go shoot her shot with the process. Throughout this movie, she's constantly trying to gain information on Andy in particular, who you can tell she don't like from the offset. From the second they walked in the crib, you can tell who her favorite was. She already knew that Piper was going to be the vessel for Kathy's rebirth down the line. So for real, Andy was just in the way. Even have her asking Piper throughout the movie if she'd be willing to stay with her after Andy's able to take her in as her legal guardian. But the way she was gaslighting this man Andy throughout the movie, that shit gotta be studied. And this man was none the wiser up until the very end of the movie. That's another thing I gotta give her credit for too. She was actually a really good counselor. She listened to her patients and through her analytic background was able to use the information she was gaining from Andy to her advantage. Constantly bringing up his bad relationship with his pops in order to make him look worse to Piper. In an attempt to make her feel more comfortable wanting to stay with her over Andy. And cutting a piece of his hair at the funeral, feeding it to Ali. And somehow this was able to create an after image of the father in the bathroom. Put Andy in the hospital, gave bro a concussion, so she says. And then using the fact that he hit Piper back in the day because he was jealous of the relationship that she had with his pop. Then socking her in the eye of her sleep, and when he wakes up the next morning, she tries to say it was him that punched her in the eye. I'm talking, bro, her black eye was bad as hell. Worst part about all this is that Piper cannot see, so she really don't know what the hell happened. Shorty just got bopped in the eye, woke up in pain. I gotta give Laura her credit. She definitely was hooping in this movie. I know a main antagonist is doing great in the movie when I'm getting frustrated watching them do the things that they doing. Down to her dropping piss on Andy in his sleep. I'm like, bro, you know you don't piss in your sleep like that. One night, okay, you might have had a little wet dream. You might have thought you was pissing in the toilet. You really wasn't. But 2 nights in a row at your big age, come on, bro. You know you wasn't doing none of this shit before you got to her house. Make it make sense. The way she was doing this little boy Connor Bird needs to be studied. Shorty kidnapped bro right out of his room and was holding him hostage this whole time. Lord knows how long he's been hostage at this house. Shorty's literally just using him as a vessel, as a conduit to bring her daughter back. And she's not feeding bro, so when bro gets out the room, he starts eating anything. I'm talking about my man Andy tries to feed him some cantaloupe or some shit. He turns around, comes back, and this man is trying to eat the knife. I think those are the scariest parts of this movie. Seeing this man Connor do all that he's doing throughout. That boy was trying to eat the knife. He was trying to eat the damn table, seeing his teeth come out. A24 does a great job of showing scenes like these that just look insane. If y'all seen Talk to Me, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I know you remember that boy who was banging his head on that damn table after he let that hand demon in. Bro was never the same up until the very end of the movie. But at least bro on Talk to Me had a good hour where he was a regular dude before everything happened to him. This boy Connor from the jump was under the voodoo spell. To say he didn't get treated as well as Andy and Piper would have been a complete understatement. In Laura's eyes, that man served one purpose, and that was bringing her daughter back. I was so happy when this man got his get back on Laura and bit the biggest chunk out of her arm. Seeing him manage to escape in the end was really good too. Looks like he needed to just be out the circle long enough to where he could get out of that possessed state that she put him in. Now, I don't know what the hell was going on in his stomach. If that was Connor that was in there, he needed to be outside the circle for Connor to come back. But if that lady's still alive at the end of this movie, she needed to be locked up, thrown under the jail, and never have the opportunity to come back out. If we being honest, the whole agency that set up Andy and Piper to be with Laura need to be investigated. I mean, did y'all ever do a thorough investigation on Laura before the events of this movie? They say she was working with them for 20 years prior to the events of this movie, so they probably thought they knew her for real. But even still, make rounds to make sure that the kids that got to her spot are okay. The negligence in a movie like this and Barbarian are astounding to me, honestly. In Barbarian, there's no reason why that Airbnb was up for sale. Why didn't nobody do a background investigation on that B&B before that girl and that man ended up there? Realistically though, I can't use that as a slight against the movie, because if they did do their homework, would there really even be a movie to begin with? Yeah man, for Bring Her Back, honestly, I give this movie a cool 8 out of 10. It was a great watch for sure. I think the plot line that I liked the most in this movie was seeing Laura try to get Kathy back by any means. Seeing her subject these kids to what she's subjecting them to in an attempt to do so really has you asking the question if all of this is even worth it. When is enough enough? Because damn it, you gave a girl a black eye for this. You pinned a brother and sister against themselves for this. You kidnapped a young boy and used him as a vessel to bring your daughter back for all this. And in the end, you were unsuccessful. But at the same time, you gotta argue she knows this process works. She probably seen it firsthand and has the tapes to prove that it works. She was following the process through and through, step by step. Another thing I gotta say too is that Piper was able to move through that house like nobody's business despite being blind. For Piper to put up the biggest fight against Laura and Connor in those last moments of the movie, I know her other senses took over something crazy, because no way she was able to escape that easily. Leave y'all thoughts in the comments. What did y'all think of Bring Her Back if y'all seen it already? What did you think of the premise of the movie? Was it scary to you? Was it worth the watch in theaters? Y'all leave all your thoughts in the comments. I've been your host, Jay, so I hope you've been entertained. Let me go talk soon. Peace, y'all.